What's going on, guys? So not really sure why I'm making this video, but I said fuck it. Sometimes you just want to talk about some random shit that crosses your brain. And I'm working out earlier today, and as I'm lifting and stuff, I've always been a big weightlifting guy, and I used to power lift back in the day, and I used to be a fitness trainer. Uh, did that for a couple of years, way back in the day. And I'm not built like that anymore, and that's okay. But as I was lifting, and I'm aware sometimes of, like, my body, and how it's harder. It's harder at 50 than it was at 30. It's harder at 50 than it was at 40. And it's like continuing to push a ball uphill, right? You're fighting against time. And as I was lifting and working out, and listening to music and whatnot, as I was kind of wrapping up, I thought to myself, man, sometimes this is a younger man's game. And that's the thought that just crossed my head, just randomly. And I actually say that somewhat often about some things, right? Someone will say something and I'll laugh and I'll be like, nah, man, that's a young man's game. I'm good, right? But as I get older and I continue to lift heavy and try to keep some muscle, um, it it it's more of a struggle, right? So as I was saying to myself, it's a young man's game. I'm getting to the point. I'm long-winded. Sorry, always am. But the point is actually sex. I know, right? Like, where the hell where are you going with that? Well, I was thinking to myself, but you know what's not a young man's game? Sex. It's not a young man's game. I used to think it was. For a long time, I thought it was. But for any of you out there that are a little older like me, even 35, 40, right? I think it's safe to say for most of us, not all, but for most of us, we probably have more quality sex now than we did way back in the day when we were really young. You know, when you're young, you've got all the endurance, but you can't last that long as a man. If you guys are tracking with me, you got all this cardio, but you can't really last that long because you're just a dumb little rabbit trying to get your rocks off. You're not worried about her, the quality of the sex, how she's feeling, the connection, even necessarily. Maybe you are a little bit, but it's like wine, I guess. It's like as you get older, sex changes. And it's not just about the act of, it's not just about the feel good. Yes, that's great. Sure, it feels good. But, well, I hope it does anyway. But it's the quality, it's the intimacy, it's the connection, it's the chemistry, it's the slowing it down and really savoring each other and touching, right? Like fingertips, yeah, I'm not going to get into detail, but listen, touching, right? It you slow down, you learn how to really make love. You can call it whatever you want. I don't always call it that either, but you do. You learn how to make love. You learn how to slow down, please your partner, communicate your wants, desires, needs, expectations, and in that connection and in that intimacy, there's a sweetness that happens that you never had as a young person. If you did, you were lucky. Most people I know, we didn't have that experience. And I'm pretty sure that most of us can think back to our first person that we lost our virginity to and go, yeah, that probably wasn't the best fucking sex of your life. Just probably was not. I know that was the case for me, and many men and women I've talked to over the years, they say the same thing. They're like, oh my God, it was a disaster, or it was over in 10 seconds, or, it was all one-sided, or it was a big mistake and I regretted it, and blah, blah, blah. It's just not a lot of positivity, a lot of positive comments out of that. So yeah, anyway, it just struck me as kind of odd. There's a lot of things that are a young person's game in this world, that they've got the stamina for, and the drive, and the energy, really. And I'm not just talking about sex now. I mean, I'm just talking about in general. As a 50-year-old man, things don't work like they did when you were 20, you don't get hard when the wind blows, things take a little bit longer to work and get there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not night and day, but it's noticeable, of course, as you age. Of course it is. And I'm sure for women, there's many things that are the same way for you guys. And I think as young people, we used to try to operate like a microwave, instead of understanding that our bodies are really more geared like an oven. You got to preheat it. I'm sorry, I know it's a stupid analogy, but you got to preheat it. You got to warm it up. You got to start slow. You got to build the sexual tension, build the chemistry, build the intimacy. And the more connection and chemistry that's there, the sweeter the sex anyway, guys. All these people out there bragging about, how much tail they crush, whatever. It's just like, yeah, gross. You're not impressing me, man. You're not impressing me. I mean, maybe that shit works on some 20-year-old guy or some 20-year-old girl, and they think you're cool, but no, I think the deeper the connection, I mean, this just goes without saying, the deeper the connection, the better the sex. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can have some wild and crazy fun sex and, not know each other very well. We probably all have one of those stories somewhere, but the connection, man, as you get older, the connection is really what makes it so sweet and special. It's something that stays with you. So anyway, sex, not a young person's game. Not a young person's game. So, yeah, anyway, just some food for thought tonight, and thought I'd share that. So if you agree, let me know. I don't need to know all your personal details, but just, let me know your thoughts. Always appreciate, the convos down in the comments, and, some of the DMs. Some of the DMs I get are a little weird. You all get blocked, but it is what it is. Anyway, guys, I hope you had a great day. Hope you have a great rest of your night. I'm going to get ready for bed. Take care. Love you.